Let's go. You're now tuned in to the Finding Success Show, where we interview guests and uncover the keys to success in business and in life with your hosts, Justin Bozak, Abe Cavella, and Tom Zadanowitz.
All right, everybody. So welcome back to the Finding Success Show. I'm Justin Bozak. Got Abe Cavella and Tommy Z in the house.
What's going on?
And we're in the studio with Tom Abramski.
Hello.
Of Shore Foods. So how's everybody's week going so far?
Hectic, man. Hectic.
Yeah.
Market is crazy. We're staying crazy, so.
Real estate's definitely nuts. How about you, Tom? How's
gearing up
how's the
for
food market?
one of our busiest weeks next week of the year is always 4th of July. So
Oh,
we've been,
4th of July.
we've been just getting crazy.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
So we'll dig in, man. Let's go. Let's take it all the way back to the start. So Tom runs a successful food distribution company here at the Jersey Shore. So if you are a restaurant owner, you got a guy.
Yeah, we all got a guy.
If it's not Tom, you might want to consider that because he's just a great dude.
Thank you.
Past client, but we always talk business, pretty much all the time. We
Love talking business.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs share is we just enjoy talking business, and even though we have different businesses, there's things that we can both relate to in each other's businesses, and what it comes down to, I think at the end of the day, is just being a good dude. So
Yeah, definitely.
so take us back to how you got started in the biz.
Well, I mean, way back, used to ride the truck with my dad when I was a kid. I would look forward to weeks, where we'd be off of school and stuff like that. And I would be excited to go to work with him. Get to hang out with my dad. And, I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends would make fun of me like, oh, you don't want to go to,
Play
here.
ball,
Yeah,
or
let's
play
play.
video
And I was like,
games.
no, I'm going to go to work with my dad. So I wake up at 2 a.m, jump in the truck with him, literally work all day with him.
That's
2 a.m. to 4 or 5 in the
2
afternoon.
in the morning.
2 in the
2
morning.
a.m.
Yeah,
Not p.m.
I'd be riding the truck and my head would be banging. You have to wake me up when we get up to where we had to go do our pickups and that. And back in that day, we had to hand load the trucks. So
Oh, wow.
when I was younger, he just had one truck. We would hand load the truck. So we get up to where we were going to go load up at say 4 a.m, and it'd be snowing or hot. It didn't matter whatever the atmosphere was. My dad was up in the truck and I was throwing him boxes.
Right.
And I liked it. I would help him and stuff like that. And I took a liking to it back then because I was also doing landscaping in high school. And it was the middle of the summer. And I'm like, man, this is hot.
Yeah, right.
And doing landscaping when I was 17, 18, I was running I was at the point where I was 17, but I was still given the responsibility to be able to drive the trucks for the guy that I worked for and stuff like that. So I had options to do that. And I just realized that wasn't for me.
It's very seasonal, right? So
Very
you got to
seasonal.
be very creative in the off season.
Yeah, I said, well, it's hot out. I'm in the sun. When it's hot out, I could be in the coolers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be at these restaurants making deliveries and stuff, and it's cool. It's just a different pace. It's not the same thing every day.
Right.
So I took a liking to it, and I decided after school that's what I wanted to do. So I started working with my dad, and I had a lot of people tell me, like teachers, and I had a lot of people like really give me a hard time for not going to college, like serious, like you're making a mistake, you're going nowhere with your life, all this stuff. And I proved them wrong. And if I could revisit some of those people that told me that,
Ooh, yeah.
man,
The
oh
ones
man,
still
I
got
had
student
teachers
loans,
that
probably.
I had teachers tell me I'm going nowhere. I was thinking about being a mechanic. I was doing,
Right.
I was just a tradesperson, I'm not a book guy.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of work. I just said, this is what I like to do.
So how well did Pop pay? Pay you well enough to?
I mean,
Obviously, you hung in there.
yeah, my dad always paid me well, but I always did the work too.
But you understood the power of earning a
Yeah.
dollar at that point.
Yeah.
So when you were a kid, were you like, did you save the money? Were you buying stuff and doing
So,
hobbies? Or
When I was 17, going to Tom's River South, I had 4 cars when I was 17.
I mean, lesson learned. I didn't have 4
Yeah.
cars. I was struggling, to get my Camaro going. So
It's funny. My mom and my dad were always supportive of me wanting to do crazy things like that. I take things apart, put things together, stuff like that. But when I was like say 12, 13 years old. I went out and I wanted to buy a tractor because my uncle, one of my uncles would help me fix things and stuff like that. So I took a liking to mechanical type things. So I really liked tractors, and I was 12 years old. So, it was like something I could drive because that's what I liked. I liked stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a lawn tractor, and my mom after school would drive me around. I bought a little trailer, and she would drive me around after school, and I had a little landscaping business. And it was a legit, it wasn't legit, but it was.
Don't come after me for the taxes.
I was legitimately cutting people's
business,
lawns
yeah.
and getting paid for it at 12 years old.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I'd be like, it's Wednesday. I have to go, do my route.
Yeah.
And I think from an early age, it kind of, just the connection with making money because I worked for it, just instilled in who I am.
So was there something that you bought like right after you got the big payday, or you made like a month's worth of money cutting lawns? And
when I was 14, I bought a Dodge Challenger.
did you?
That's what I wanted. Well, that's what I wanted to buy. It was not complete,
Right.
and I
Because
worked on it.
It
It didn't matter. Yeah, it was fun.
to drive.
Yeah.
And I would drive it. My parents had 2 driveways in Beechwood. I would start it up without anybody knowing, and I would drive it from one driveway to the other.
What's the statute of limitations on this stuff?
He's good. 20 years,
awesome.
I think.
And it was my parents always they always let me do things like I think and it's funny because I see the same things in my son.
Yeah.
He's very obsessed with
How things work.
making sure things are exact, and I know that future for him is the same way because I'm very attention to detail. If it's not right, my customers don't get it right, I know what my customers want. It's got to be right. And attention to detail is so big just in any business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking before. I think a lot of people don't understand the behind the scenes, how intense it is to run literally every business. So, you hear the stories about how people fail, and usually it's because they don't have that attention to detail. And listen, I'm an attention to detail guy when it comes to creative and marketing and stuff like that. But when it comes to the business, I'm not really that guy. Right. So it's identifying that and making sure you surround yourself with people that are. So that's why I think our partnership works really well. We kind of complete each other, especially in this industry where in real estate, there's so many hats you got to wear. How is that with your business? Do you have key members? Is it just kind of you or?
No. So with everything that's been going on lately, our business has grown during COVID substantially. I had to hire a couple more people, which is good. Don't know how long that's going to stick as far as the industry. There's a lot of ups and downs with things going on right now, but I wear a lot of hats. You'll find me if you come to the warehouse. You'll find me in the freezer picking orders with I'm not that guy. I'm not that boss. I'm not. I don't like to think of myself as above the people that I work with. I'll be right there with anybody that's working in the warehouse, pulling orders on the truck. If something needs to be done, you'll find me laying under the truck fixing something. There's nothing beneath me as far as anything that I do.
Yeah.
So
You got to have that mentality, that you're servant leader kind of, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, and along with everyone that's working with you. So that's good. Is there anything you did at the start of all this COVID that kind of helped propel your business? You shifted in any way to take advantage?
So initially when COVID hit, those first couple weeks where it was oh, wow, people might be shutting down.
Yeah.
Did you freak out at first?
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
We did a little bit.
I'm in a business where I'm buying tens of thousands of dollars a week worth of perishable items.
Right.
So I'm buying things weeks out. So what I buy today, I don't see possibly for a week or two.
That's true.
So I'm buying things that I'm thinking, am I going to have to, am I getting shut down? Are my customers getting shut down? Is everybody on, nobody, there was a really gray area. I think you and I had a lot of discussion about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really sketchy kind of thing, but I had to, just roll with what was going on and say, whatever happens, happens. I have insurance. If
think about that, just you have to project and see, hopefully the government doesn't shut everyone down in a week and then you're stuck with 10,000
with
perishables.
all this perishable
having 2 barbecues or something.
Yeah. So,
that spurred some creativity, right? So we talked about.
So
How you can
with
mix
all that
that.
going on, but going back to preparedness, I was kind of prepared for that in a way because the last year or so I've been really on track to paying things off and getting the business more liquid as far as, that could have been a rainy day. It could have been that could have been a snowstorm that was week after week and I had customers close or, things like that. So I think being prepared just in general in business helped me in the beginning of that. And then once that hit where it was like, wow, things are closing and all this stuff, I sell toilet paper, I sell paper towels. So I started watching what was going on. I started buying in on things heavy, like whatever I could buy on paper towels, whatever I could buy on, and I was offsetting loss of half of my customers closing to where I was doing normal numbers.
Wow.
Because I was selling
when restaurants were closed.
Yeah, I wasn't selling to any restaurants or anything like that.
That's crazy.
But I was selling, way, above and beyond any more, things like that I would never think ever that I'd sell.
You didn't put your head in the sand. You just kind of pivoted with it. It's
Yeah.
the word we've been using lately, pivot, right? So
Yeah.
And then came
swivel.
up with the Sure Foods at Home. That was actually my wife's idea because a lot of people were, on Facebook and stuff like that saying, oh, ShopRite's 3 weeks out. This one's not doing it anymore. And I said, we could do that. If I'm not busy with our route, we'll be busy delivering to homes. It doesn't matter to me where we go.
Yeah.
So we came up with launched the whole idea with that, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, you're always thinking. And the funny thing that you said to me is, yeah, I bought all this stuff, and if nobody buys it, whatever, my family will use it.
Yeah.
I bought all the things that my family would use anyway.
over a few years.
Those all things you find in my
exactly.
house. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Katie, we have a 3-year supply of Windex.
Yeah. We'll use it at some point. Don't worry. It's
Hey.
BJ's on crack right there.
Katie's
It's my
like, stop
warehouse.
bringing one of the cereals, one of the
Cocoa Puffs?
Cocoa Puffs. She's like, no more Cocoa Puffs.
That goes through my house like crazy. So bring it over if you need to.
Yeah. No, you know where to get it. So
Are you starting to see now that, things are starting to open back up, that it's like really skyrocketing? I mean,
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, even the restaurants that are opening, they're not doing the numbers they should be doing
right.
because their dining capacity is limited and everything's harder. You go to a restaurant and you're not allowed inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
That server, that manager, whoever's there has to walk from the kitchen all the way to the front door back to, it's a lot of,
right.
It's a
Then you're
lot
dealing
more
with the
work.
wind, and you're dealing with the sun, and you're
Yeah.
dealing with the weather. I mean, out of everybody, actually, that's the first thing I think about it. The people that have it the toughest in business, or the restaurant owners right now. I mean,
absolutely.
I know some other businesses like gyms are closed, but restaurants are tough. That's a razor
Yeah.
thin,
Yeah.
margin. And I mean, I don't know. A lot of them didn't get bailed out, right? So you think about employees and things like that, and can get loans and stuff from the government, but they don't really have employees. It's just them, and then the staff. They don't get paid like a high rate.
No.
So retention's got to be easy. I mean, like we were talking, it's easier to just sit on the couch, I guess, if you worked in that industry right now.
Yeah. I mean, I have some customers that I really feel bad for, they're only open for May, June, July, August, September, and then they close it down and they expect to make their money in those couple months.
Mhm.
I don't see it this year. I mean, I see people coming down and spending money, but it's, if you're only allowed to have half the amount of people in the restaurant or 25%, when it fully opens back up, by the time it fully opens back up, they're going to be closed.
It's true. You even think about all the tourism from people come down to the shore. Half of them want to just go out to eat. So,
Yeah.
and
And a lot of it's the experience, right? So you spend $50 on a steak, but it's more about the experience.
Yep.
You want to
Yeah.
spend $50 for a steak, sit at a picnic table outside in the sweltering sun.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not the same thing, and the restaurant owner can't discount that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's paying a premium for that space,
Yeah.
So, if anybody gets anything out of this, it's definitely support the restaurants. I mean, I need to start working out more. I'm supporting the restaurants so much. I mean, I don't want to support Stop and Shop as much, I guess. I mean, it's crazy. They're definitely the heartbeat of a lot of the communities because you just take a step back and notice how many mom and pops or how many they have one restaurant and that's it. Like the bigger conglomerates still figure it out, right? Or they'll close a store
Yeah,
a year or two and they'll
close
be
up.
fine, But you're talking about people that they sweat it for years and years and years and years. And, to know the expenses they got to pay, the payroll, and with a liquor license or whatever, it's tough.
Yeah.
And if they weren't prepared, like you were just talking, that you were just kind of preparing for something like this for a rainy day, what if they just got caught in their business where they didn't have the liquid funds that they wish they did? So,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they're closing
'Cause
down.
it's
And
the seasonality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think,
Yeah.
oh, well, whatever. We're going to hit it big in the
Yeah.
summer.
oh, right.
But it's tough because the state was also putting things in place where, you're going to have to bump up salaries to X and, with food. I mean, that's been going, crazy as far as prices go. So, I mean, it's going to be tough, but, like I said, support your local restaurants and
Absolutely.
not the big ones, the mom and pops.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what do you think about the future, I guess, in looking past COVID? I mean, hopefully we get through this and that's the end. You think this is going to change the industry as a whole now that this happened and based on the reactions and stuff? I mean,
I think so. I think you're going to see some things that aren't going to be forgotten. I see it in some of my suppliers. They're hesitant to buy certain things. There was a lot of money lost when this happened.
Mhm.
You got to think about it. Suppliers bring in and stock perishables for restaurants. I mean, you have things like little creamer packets that are on the table at a restaurant. I was just able to get them for the first time like a week ago
wow.
because nobody's been putting them in a restaurant.
Mm.
Stuff like that. I'm not saying that you couldn't get them at all, but it's been
Just an
very
example.
hard to get certain things. I mean, 1 pound pastas right now, like Barilla pastas, can't find them anywhere because everybody was buying them at home. So the
Mhm.
market got tweaked on a lot of things. That's temporary, but long term, I think you're gonna see some big companies fold up. You're gonna see there's a lot of big companies that are down 50, 60%. And I don't know if that's gonna recoup,
Right.
because the damage might already be done. They might, even though they're big companies, there's big companies that are very unstable right now before this happened because they take on a lot of debt because
Yeah.
they do things outside their means.
Yeah.
And just because they're a big company doesn't mean they're not doing that.
Yeah, that's one key thing, and I definitely have noticed that about you over the years. Because again, we talk a lot, and you're definitely very reserved about kind of how things work within your business, right? So you're not. Your goal is obviously you're always talking about paying down the debt, obviously. So you have the cash for a rainy day, and if something like this happens, it's not a big deal. It's not like you're living this lavish lifestyle and you've got these cars and this big house. You could have done it, right?
Yeah.
Because the money was coming in, but I think you had the foresight to know that hey, that's just probably not how I want to live. I've seen some people kind of go through that, and
Yeah.
I'll learn from their mistakes. But is this kind of like the first time, I guess, in this industry for you guys that you've seen like a recession? Because I mean, we experienced it in real estate. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it was probably tough for some companies back then, but I don't know.
I went through, what was that,
7
2007,
and 8, yeah, where a lot of
8.
people were closing.
When I worked with my dad, it was a rough time. We had to let a couple people go. I mean, business went down. New competition came in with certain things. A lot of margins went down, like things you used to make money on, you weren't anymore. So that was rough. And then, I don't feel like this is as bad as that financially because I think people still have the money. It's just a really weird.
It's a weird time.
It's just a weird time.
Yeah, I think we were talking a little bit about that maybe last week or so, but I feel like the confidence is still there. People are
Mhm.
just being held back.
Yes.
Where in 7 and 8, 07, 08, everyone was just no confidence in the market, didn't know what was going on. So right now they're saving because they're just waiting for them to be opened up to the market. So I feel like we're going to be okay. And there's no recession, I don't think. Obviously, recession's just 2-3 months of
Right.
whatever GDP. So, but I think the confidence is there. I think we just need to open up the state and then we're going to be okay. But
Yeah.
so I wanted to ask you about the Shore Foods at Home. Are you like, what did you get from that? Are you going to continue with that? Are you going to like, what'd you learn from that? And is that going to expand your business?
So the Shore Foods at Home, I like certain things about it. I like the fact that the customer puts their own order in because that's
Right.
something that's very time consuming for us when we take orders from people. I could be driving down the road, somebody's texting me all this stuff, and you got to write it down. You got to put it in. It's time where that's coming to me right into our system and it's done. So it's creating things in my brain to say, well, how do I do this with the rest of my
Commercial
business and
side,
stuff
yeah.
like that? So That's not going anywhere. We're keeping that at home. It slowed down a little bit because people are out and about and not like terrified to go to the stores. I don't think as much.
Yeah, but it's tough to bring, like, we got 3 young kids, and my wife would just live on Peapod or, the stuff that's just going to deliver. So much easier than taking the kids in the car. And obviously right now, taking the kids with a mask on in the shopping centers, forget about it.
Right.
But I think that's pretty key. It's going to help you out in the future too.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
it's definitely here to stay.
Yeah.
What areas are you covering with the shore at home?
We're doing basically like Brick, east of the Parkway down to say like Waretown. We're trying to do like a 10, 15 mile radius. From
So almost
warehouse.
like Northern Ocean to about Wartown.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. I might have to get on that, man.
I know.
To be honest, I mean, Chelsea just did a Costco run today, and it's just like anytime you go there, it's just
Forget about it.
Yeah, there's some key things on there, and obviously you're dealing, with a film distributors. So I mean, you get some quality stuff.
right.
Yeah, we wanted to put like the best of the best things on there. I mean, the thing is with us, I mean, we can't compete with a ShopRite or something like that as far as the variety, but your basics, we have all your basic cleaning supplies and meats and produce and stuff like that. So,
Did you put those barbecue packages together yet, or?
yeah, the grill and chill.
The grill and chill package.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little idea we were talking about. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just cool because of barbecues and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I figured, hey, yeah, eventually people are gonna, be able to get together in that capacity. So, how about just getting a whole
honestly,
grill
that'd
and
be-
chill thing dropped off where your buns, your meats, your ketchup, your mustard, everything's done. It's ready to go.
One
So,
click.
one click. Yeah.
Love it.
So would you use mobile ordering, or did you have an app or something? Or
We
how'd you-
used the
Desktop?
Square app.
Oh, right.
They helped us get the website. It's all connected through
Oh,
that.
cool.
That's the other thing, is paid for,
Yeah.
because that's another end of our business where you're constantly chasing money.
Mhm.
So,
True.
Or dealing, we're always watching to make sure we're dealing with the right people.
Yeah. Right. True.
What's your typical turnaround time on like the shore at home? So if someone puts an order in today, like,
It's like 2 days.
oh, it's awesome.
We do 2 days because it gives us a day if we were out of
Right.
something to be able to fulfill it the next day.
It's great.
So what are some of like the most important lessons I think you've learned? I mean, it seems like because you went through the recession, and you had to lay some people off and things were going amazing, obviously, over the past couple of years, and people didn't see this coming as a recession. I think in the back of, our mind, we always felt like, when's the shoe gonna drop, right? You never know.
Yeah.
'cause-
That's always in my mind.
right.
Because you never know if living by faith, you and I both know, like we know, but to deal with going backwards, that's a fear of mine.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to go backwards as far as like the business going back and have to be in a real jam where you go out of business or something like that. So to me, it's like I want to just pay for everything I have. And I feel like if I have that mentality and I come not perfectly, but if I could do that majority, we need this, we pay for it. It doesn't go on the credit card.
Well, when you're
Just
not
pay for
strapped
it.
for debt like that, you can make wiser decisions. You're not working
Exactly.
out of fear. So it's key.
Yeah, I think you obviously learned. I mean, you Justin brought up before. I mean, the 2007, 2008, you guys said you struggled a little bit, and learning from that is key. And I think that's helped you be in this fantastic position today. I mean, even us. I mean, when we went through it, I remember we had we had dozens of deals on the board. As soon as we saw those announcements,
It just stopped.
it was like deal dead,
Yeah.
deal dead, deal
months of
dead, deal
business
dead.
gone.
And we just had all these deals fall apart. And we had to shift our focus and stuff. So most people don't get it. You have to really have ideally 6 months reserves, because you just never know what kind of hiccup you're going to potentially run into.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying before with when the COVID hit. I was talking to other people in my field that were literally like, tomorrow we're laying people off. And I'm like, tomorrow?
Yeah,
We're like
it's a
2
little
days
quick.
into this.
Yeah.
Like 1 week's going to rattle
Yeah.
your whole business model. Like you don't know. And then a couple weeks later, it starts bouncing back and we're busy. We're, like I was saying before, we're up 44% the same quarter
It's crazy, man.
as last year.
Yeah.
So we're busier. So if I was just making impulse decisions on let's get rid of everybody and sell off all this stuff, 2 weeks later, I would have been, in a bad position. I had nobody, no help.
It could have
no,
been 30 to 40% down. So, and I think that's probably why you were up, is because other owners maybe jumped the gun. Maybe they were kind of living on those razor sharp margins for whatever reason. And they just saw, well, there's nothing I can do. I don't have the money. I don't have the cash. I'm not liquid, and at that point, like, well, banks aren't going to just be like, hey, here's some money for your business. I mean,
Yeah.
the cool thing about this recession is the government really stepped in and they helped the small business owners much more than obviously what happened in '07 and '08. They helped
Sure.
the banking industry, the insurance industry, and the car industry, and like that was it. And that's why I think it took so long for all the markets to come back, is because you still lost all those jobs, and the people that were actually looking to buy,
Small business.
yeah, they were all small business owners. They're the heartbeat of the economy. So that's the one thing I think that the powers to be learned and saw. We need to get the money in the hands, because then you have the confidence. I mean, I could tell you, I have some hobbies, and I thought, I flip baseball cards and stuff, and I've been doing it for the last year. It started as a hobby. Now it's for some reason becoming a job, which I didn't want another job. But I thought that market, I'm like, oh, this is dead or whatever. I'll just, let it be. And it was crazy. And prices were going up. I'm like, people just really have money to spend. And people aren't worried about it. You get unemployment.
Yeah, well, that is the difference, because if people aren't even though a lot of people, and we were having a lot of problems with that with our suppliers, because a lot of our suppliers in North Jersey,
Right. So they're
some of the
the
harder
epicenter.
hit
Yeah.
epicenters and stuff like that, where people were just not coming into work.
Yep.
So, but they were still getting paid. So the money was still there.
Money was still there, and then you saw the chart of the home improvement sales, like Home
Yeah,
Depot,
Home Depot.
Lowe's,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
skyrocketed.
Yeah,
so that tells
everybody's
me
like-
that everyone was home, and they're like, I have no worries about the economy. I'm going to go fix up my house.
Absolutely.
So that right there showed me there's consumer confidence, and everyone was comfortable with it.
And while they're fixing up their house, they're buying sandwiches and stuff like that. Because all my takeout, like I was saying before, my takeout places are doing 30, 40%, 50% more. Sometimes some of them were triple of what they normally do.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this is it. This is a one and done thing, and it never happens again. But the cool thing is it's allowed us to push technology, that much further. So I know in our business, we've always kind of been on the cutting edge. And even something like this, it was like you still didn't have your company completely up to speed to where it needed to be to operate in this, Zoom world now that we're in the online world, right? So like we knew it, but not all the employees or the agents were up to speed. I mean, how does that affect, I guess, you moving forward? I know you said something about the ordering and the mobile, and that would be helpful for you. Is there anything else in your industry that you think online, could help, or just technology could help?
I would say on the computer end, as far as order entry and stuff like that, yes, I have a lot of things that I'm working on right now, trying to do that, because it's time. Every time
Right.
I got to key something, my fingers hurt sometimes. All day Wednesday, my fingers are just keying orders in. I'm like, there's got to be a quicker way. But you know what? I'm at a quicker way, because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was a pen and paper.
True.
So I've seen the pen and paper. My dad used to have a book for each customer. It was a
Oh,
pen and
man.
paper. And when I run his route, when I was like 17, 18 years old, I just flipped to the customer, had their own book. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's
already.
probably when we had, that's the Nokia days too.
Yeah.
You don't even have like.
Yeah, I had a pager.
Start
yeah. So that's cool. I mean, so I think, the creativity in the business, especially for, people that grasp technology already. I mean, this is just going to thrust us even further into this field, because I think a lot of the people that were maybe thinking about getting out of the business, they're like, you know what, forget it. I'm never going to catch up. I don't want to deal with it. I'm comfortable. I'm out. So business-wise, you never know when things like this are going to happen, and an opportunity is going to come, and your company could actually even make more money.
True.
Yeah.
I have and I've seen it firsthand. I have customers that just sat back and closed when I thought if they were open, they would have done really well. Had they reinvented their store a little bit, or stuff like that. But they're like, no, we'll just close and go on unemployment and all that stuff. I'm like, all right. And then you got the guy down the road just crushing it, because they're doing takeout, and they're doing it right, and they're doing online ordering, and they're doing all the things everybody wanted.
Yeah, and just catching everything that fell from the people that got out of it. Like,
Yeah.
remember Forrest Gump when he's the only ship left out of the ship?
Oh, yeah.
boat?
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you got the windfall now because you powered through it. So
So that's one of the keys, I think, to success that people don't understand. And people think, oh, you just got lucky, you got lucky, you got lucky. And it was like, no, you didn't see the years it took for me to get to the point to be able to capitalize on something that fell into my lap, right?
weather the
So
storm. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, like we work with a lot of builders, right? So some people may think, oh, they're lucky they work with builders. Well, you didn't see the years to get to that point. And then, when we got to that point, what we did to secure it and, become one of the, best teams dealing with builders at the Jersey Shore. It's all about when you get the opportunity, what do you do with it? Are you ready? Can you run with it? And it's all the work that goes into it before. So that's like I always say, lay the foundation, good work ethic, being available, because you never know when somebody's gonna, call your number.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a lot of stuff changes. What a driver thinks their morning looks like might change 10 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3 phone calls. Tom, it's always Tom. I have a problem. How can you help me fix it? I have a catering I just took for a unexpected death for a family, and I have to cater it. What am I going to say? No.
Right.
No, I'm going to say
I'll make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
You're my customer, and that's our agreement. Within my means, I'll make it happen. I've borrowed stuff from other customers before, and I'll do whatever I have to do to make everybody happy.
It's awesome, man.
So, Tom, I got to ask you a question, man. One of the things that's the most frustrating with the youth that we have right now in the type of society that we're dealing with is that they don't like putting in work, right? So this is one of the whole reasons. I mean, we talk about this all the time on our show.
Some. No.
Yeah, don't completely throw the millennials
Some,
under the bus.
thank you. All right. We'll say some. So, I mean, obviously, when we were building our business, I mean, we put in a lot of hours, 70, 80 hours a week. You starting out and where you are today, how many hours do you grind to run this business?
I mean, every day, like the alarm clock, 4 a.m. I mean, literally even if I have my alarm clock set for 7 o'clock on a Sunday, 4 a.m.
You wake up. Yeah.
I wake up.
You got the roosters and the hens, though.
Yeah,
right?
we got the roosters and the hens. Yeah.
He is the rooster. What do you mean?
Yeah, do you really have roosters?
You beat the rooster.
Yeah, we have. Katie has a chicken thing for chickens. I guess we got like 25 chickens.
Wow.
I've had some fresh,
never have to buy
Silverton
eggs.
Road eggs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I would say 70 hours a week is probably I would think is normal.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
Between paperwork, because
Right.
if you really sat down and figured out, I woke up at 4:30, couldn't go back to sleep. I walked down the other side of my house. Nobody even knows I'm up, and I'm in the office with my door closed doing paperwork.
right.
And part of it, I guess that's what happens when you get older. You like it.
Because you know where you're going,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. And running a company is your baby. You build it up, and it's all the time you spend, even if you're not working in the field, like you're saying. It could be the creativity, the thinking about it, the researching. You need to put in that work. And I think the youth
Absolutely.
needs to understand, like a 40-hour work week. I'm sorry, it is a joke.
Yeah.
40 hours is nothing. If you think 40 hours is full time,
That's part time.
it's part time. And listen, if you want to, do other things, maybe you're doing that and you have something part time that you're doing or a hobby or whatever. Like, yeah, that's cool. But if you're just content on putting in 40 hours and punching out and that's it, I don't know. You're letting somebody else control your destiny.
Yeah.
You could always lose that job. You could always get unemployed. And that's the thing is, I think you always have to be thinking of what's next. You got to stay creative. You got to stay humble. You got to be willing to put in extra hours at work, even if it's 40 hours. I used to have a salary job. I'd punch out and still work.
Yeah.
It is what it
Your
is.
other job after that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the youth is listening, if you want to be successful,
I've had people work with me that were younger and, treat me like I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing, this and that. Too good to sweep the floor. You'll find me sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
Like I said, you'll find me down. I'll be the first person doing that stuff.
Mhm.
There's nothing beneath me. It's my business. I care about it.
That's the
And if
definition.
you're
of
not
a leader,
willing
man.
to do that, you will not be a good owner, good successful
Yep.
owner.
right? Yeah, because then everything's beneath you, and just your attitude towards the people that
Yeah.
would be doing that job. It's not going to be right.
No.
So
There's a great picture or meme that goes around where it shows the definition of a leader, and there's a difference between a boss and a leader. And what you're doing is that's what grows leaders. You're in the mud with them. You're getting dirty. You're doing what they do, and you're showing them how it's done. And a boss is just like, get over there, get that done. So
Yeah.
That's where you are, where you're at, man. You know what it takes to be successful. You grind, you put the hours in, you're down there with your peeps, man. That's exactly what it takes.
And I think all of us will agree that none of us is possible without an awesome team. Like we have Amanda, Jen, Laura, Johnny, what they do every day for us. And they go above and beyond, and we know that. Shout out to you guys if you're listening. But anything you could say about your team and who's working with you, and any mistakes you've made in hiring as well that you can kind of give out to small business owners?
Yeah, I would say I've had people that I've hired that I knew day one they were not gonna.
Yeah.
They were not fit for doing what we do. Not everybody's cut out to do what we do. There's a lot of physical things. There's a lot of personality things. You're dealing with customers. It's a very vast, we're not a huge company. So you could be picking an order one day. You could be on a van or truck the next day, dealing with customers. So it's not like you just have one set job.
Right.
So I've had people that I should have just said like the first week, like, hey, this isn't working out. So now something I do is which actually one of my recent hires is a millennial. Ethan, what's up, man? He's 19, good kid, doesn't want to go to school, wants to work hard. So I like that. That was me when I was 19. So I like that.
Well, he's an extension of your business too.
Yeah.
So how he approaches your customers kind of shines on you. So
he, there's millennials out there that don't fit that mold.
Yeah, Abe.
But
I said most.
What I've been doing is if I hire somebody, I'll say, this is a 2-week period.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I make sure I'm happy with you for 2 weeks, and I want to make sure that you're happy with me for 2 weeks. And that's pretty much how I'm going to do it from here forward. And
that's cool.
And
then you can throw everything at them, right?
That.
Yeah.
Because if in 2 weeks I know that person is not meant to be, that's my chance to say, let's just save us both a hassle down the road.
Yeah. Slow to hire, quick to fire, right? That's what I learned.
Because I don't like that's not me.
Yeah.
I don't like just bringing people in and getting rid of people. It's people got families or people got bills and stuff like that. So
it's not good for morale and the rest of the
it's just not. It's not good for the business. You end up putting too much time into trying to figure out what they're doing and what they're not doing right and all this stuff. I don't have time for that.
Right.
I want to know that people I am surrounded by are good people and they're looking out for me in the business. And if I don't feel that way, then
part ways. Yeah.
Let's part ways now.
Smart. So I don't know if we want to. I want to hit on just the giving back thing we did with the turkeys. It's been going on now. Bozak, you can probably talk a little bit more about it because you set this up and you spearheaded this with Tom, really. So what you guys have done with it, absolutely amazing, and the food pantry. So let me throw it back to you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how it really came about, but obviously, I knew where to go.
Actually, I think I remember where it came out. Justin called me and said, hey, any chance you get turkeys? I was like, yeah, I got turkeys.
Yeah, I forget how I got pulled into it. I think I just had the idea. And then I was like, hey, we'll just make it happen. Like, that's me. Like, right. Most creative guys is just like, whatever, this is the idea. And then, we'll just figure it out. So, yeah, I mean, you've been integral in doing that with us as well as Josh Blair from Family First Funding. But, it was just, I know the food pantry feeds a lot of people. And I know a lot of people, especially when we started, the economy was not good. Sandy hit. So there's a lot of people that needed even more help after that. So, it just dawns on you that, we could be doing more. And like Thanksgiving's one of my favorite holidays. It's July 4th and then Thanksgiving for me. But Thanksgiving is really cool because there's not really any expectations. It's just the food, the family, and the fun and the laughter that comes with that.
And football, football.
In the football for the dudes. But it hit me that people don't experience that, right? So if you don't have the turkey or the trimmings and everything like that, like that's not a good feeling, right? Like if you had that in the past and you grew up with it, so I felt like let's do something here, and each year it keeps getting bigger,
Keep getting more people involved, and we're doing something nice.
I feel like it was 100 turkeys, and it's always like 500. Now it's like 700 or something. Can't keep track.
Every time you turn around, you're like, "Wait, you're getting more."
I think one of the years, Justin's like, "Whatever we did last year," and it was just in my head. It was like 600. It was really 500. So
Right.
we upped it just
Yeah.
without even knowing.
Like, good, let's just do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Tom has that right mindset. You've always had that, where it's not about you. It's not about, again, the car you drive or the having a mansion or anything like that. It's just how you help people out naturally, right?
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to say, "Hey, Tom, can you help out with this?" And you're like, "Yeah, absolutely. No problem. I got you. Like nothing. No charges, whatever. Just whatever it is, you pay. I'm not making any money on it. I'll help you out." And you even chipped in.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
you
man.
you became a
Absolutely.
donor to it.
That's
So.
huge.
So we definitely appreciate that. And you guys have any other
I think we
questions?
touched on a lot, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. Seeing where you started from, where you are now. I mean, it's been a great journey, and looking forward to many more years of doing this turkey drive.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to do the short of home thing. There's no questions. Be signing up tonight on that thing.
Yeah, to
we
get
got
on
the
it.
foamy IQ. We got the hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's right, hand
stations.
sanitizer.
Oh yeah, that's right. The hand sanitizer throughout the office.
Pivoting again, man.
Well, we
Well
got 4 of them, lemon scented. So if you need some foamy
Revolution.
pump,
The revolution is safe.
yeah, we're safe, and our hands smell very nice, and they're not gooey. Like I actually had a showing today, and then the agent's like, "Yeah, I got the hand sanitizer, and she just dumps like a bunch in my hand. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with all this hand sanitizer? I was brushed it off. I'm like, yeah, I wish you should have that foamy IQ. I mean, wasting sanitizer. But any parting shots? Anything you want to put out there?
As far as
I don't know. Any
Advice-
questions for
advice to
us?
the
or advice?
listeners and-
Yeah.
just like you were just touching on with being generous too. I mean, that's just as in being a person too. Just like when you leave a tip for somebody, leave a nice tip.
Yeah.
You know, how you gonna be a nice person to somebody and not leave them a nice tip if you could afford it?
Yep.
Just giving back, stuff like that. I mean, that's it feels good when you do things like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Not 20% is the standard, I think. And if they do a better job, you throw a little bit extra into that.
Well, I think we're all in the service industry, and my wife always says that everyone should be in the service industry, at least a waiter or waitress, for a year, and just get the feeling out there to have be a servant to someone, and just bite your lip sometimes because you don't want to speak poorly on someone or yell at them, but it just changes your mindset, and I think it makes you a better person. So appreciate your service industry success. So.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to get in touch with you to order anything, what's the website?
The Shore Foods it's www.shorefoodsAtHome.com.
Nice.
Is our that's your home delivery, and then we're in the process of setting up a website. We don't have a website yet for
That's
Shore
even more
Foods.
impressive.
For the
man.
regular
Word of
Shore
mouth.
Foods.
Honestly, all my business has been word of mouth
Yeah.
for my whole career.
Yeah.
I've never had. I mean, I could count on maybe both hands how many times I've actually dropped a card somewhere.
That says a
It's
lot.
always, hey, Tom, my friend's opening up a place, go see him. And then I go deliver to that guy, and that guy's got a friend. And that goes true with you guys too.
Mhm.
You're doing it
I mean,
right,
how many
man.
times
It's the
have I
best
referred somebody to
business.
you that
Yeah.
was for, or somebody, it's when somebody's happy with you, they're going to go tell everybody they know.
Nope.
And when somebody's not happy with you, they're going to go tell everybody they know.
Very true. They
So
tell even
right?
more people.
It's something to talk
you're
about.
Right.
Yeah.
They do tell
So
even
why
more
would
people.
you not want to keep people happy?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Regardless of, sometimes businesses get so wrapped up in principles. And even during this pandemic, I've had suppliers that came up with the most ridiculous principle type. We're not bringing in any special orders, period. We're not bringing in this period. And I'm like, you basically cross stock it. You bring it in overnight from a supplier that doesn't even see your warehouse, and you flip it right onto my truck.
Yeah.
That's like the craziest thing that you're saying no, and you just forced me to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I've had suppliers that have lost a lot of business from me because of bad choices as far as,
Customer service.
customer
Yeah.
service and just coming up with like ridiculous rules for things.
Well, and you talked about obviously the supplier for you, but then the customer on your end, the guy that says, "Hey, I got a barbecue this weekend. I need you,"
Yeah.
and you said, "All right, I'll make it happen." Versus this other guy saying, "No, cut it off." So
Yeah.
it's true.
So it's
Yeah,
just
referrals
be
are-
nice.
Be nice, make things
Be
happen for your
kind,
Referrals are
clients.
key.
forward.
I mean, that's my business. That's your guys' business too. Is it's all referrals. I mean, I know if I get a referral from you, you're not referring somebody that's a a jackass. You're referring somebody who's cool, and that's the thing that people don't understand is if you work with cool people and then cool people refer you to other cool people,
Yeah.
it's just a never-ending chain of cool people that you're working with.
Absolutely. Well, look at you.
Yeah.
I didn't know you before we did real estate transaction. I met you on Silverton Road.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to buy a house.
I told you not to
with your
buy
old
it.
firm. You told me not to buy it. And, you know, the thing is, that's how Justin and I have connected with a lot of things because Justin would see things from a professional standpoint that I didn't realize from a homeowner.
Yep.
You don't want to live here. It's right next to this. You don't want to be here because it's
the
got
graveyard.
this. Or you don't want to do this because it has that, like things that we wouldn't see.
Right. Yeah, the high tension wires.
Well, and that built the trust
cemetery.
in him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's just opening up the different things that you don't think about that you might think about later when it's too late.
Right.
Right. So I like to throw
Because
everything on the table.
because everything wasn't all about the sale.
Exactly.
You knew I was going to find what I wanted, but
Right.
you knew that wasn't the right thing.
Yeah, I don't need to sell something today. It's not what it's about. And I think that's what most people don't understand. It's if you want a long-term relationship with that person, you got to make sure they're happy long-term,
Yeah.
not short-term. Don't sell them something that long-term they're going to be not happy with.
Yeah.
Car
Salesman-ish. You will never find me being salesman-ish.
Yeah.
If I go into a place and I like it and I did drop a card, I'm there buying a sandwich or I thought it was a good place. If I drop a card and there's like a no response, you'll never, like, I am not one to just be like a super aggressive, like,
Yeah.
that's just not me.
Yeah.
I've never had to be pushy to sell my business.
You built it the right way, man. And everyone gets hit with real estate leads and buy these leads. And, we work off referrals and the trust is already there. So it's just a great way to build your business. So we appreciate you being on, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for
Yeah.
having me.
No problem.
Absolutely,
brother.
man.
Always good to see you, man. And looking forward to some big things from you. Oh, you want to mention the other turkeys?
Which
You
turkey?
got more turkeys now? Jeez. I thought
More
they were-
turkeys. The turkeys that are in the stores.
Oh,
The
okay.
fresh turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's mention that.
So we're basically one of my friends that has a turkey farm, him and I came up with a label that we put into local ShopRites, Pure and Simple Foods. It's a line of turkey products that we put in there last year. People love them.
And they're out of where? Stop
They're in
ShopRite?
ShopRites.
ShopRites. Yeah. You heard of Hanks, right?
Yeah. Okay. Very simple.
Yeah. So the cool thing is you just bring it home. It's like what, 20 minutes. That's it.
It's kind of cool when I walk in
Fresh
and I
turkey.
see them in the store because I came up with that label. Like, so it's kind of cool to see like
Mhm.
the pen hit the paper,
Yeah.
and then it's, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Vision realized. Love it.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Congrats.
It's creativity. I think that entrepreneurs need to understand you gotta definitely put in the hustle, and even when you're doing good, you gotta keep creating different things, right?
Yeah.
Keep trying different things.
Change, adapt. Like I said, during this whole thing, I've seen companies that just could not adapt, smaller one guy operations that just couldn't adapt. And not that they're out of business, but they're definitely financially punished because they couldn't adapt. So you just adapt
All right, brother.
Awesome, Tommy boy.
Always good to see you, my man.
too.
Wish you the best of success. I know it's gonna happen. So in 10, 20 years, we're gonna be chilling out on an island somewhere.
Send me my rent check.
Owning a bunch of buildings. Yeah, he's good building the building now. He's gonna have some tenants and stuff going on. So he's involved. He's got it all covered.
Nice work, bud.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next show.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Finding Success Show. Make sure to subscribe for future episodes. Also, check us out at findingsuccesstv.com.